After 6 weeks of developing and manufacturing my model chair, I would like you, Will Faust, as my client, to go through my design specification and rate each one out of 10 and give me your opinion on each section, starting with aesthetics.
You stated the chair must suit the chosen desired movement, which is the style. And to do this, you would use only blue, red, and yellow primary colours, and also black and white. This is part of the specification has definitely been fulfilled. I see only 5 colours, black, white, blue, yellow, and red. That definitely grants it very much a style aesthetic, whilst also keeping the product very colourful and bright, juvenile, making it very attractive to me as a target audience. You also stated the only basic shapes to be used, including circles and triangles. However, it should mostly consist of squares and rectangles. This has definitely been fulfilled. The product itself is almost a exact square, and it uses smaller squares to build up the shape of the chair. This grants it an almost cubist feel, and makes it definitely fit into the style movement. It also means it's quite aesthetically interesting. It's different to anything else on the market. So that's definitely been fulfilled. And the overall design must be simple, not complicated. That's definitely been fulfilled. The chair is very simple to use. There's no moving parts or mechanics, just increasing further simplicity to the design. Also, very limited colour palettes have been used in this, using only primary colours, which just adds to the simplicity of it. So for aesthetics, I would give it a strong 9 out of 10.
Okay.
You stated the chair in the cost section to be £15 to £40 to produce. Well, looking at this, I think that's definitely a reasonable estimate. On the larger 1-to-1 scale, the cost of materials and manufacture with such a dense design such as this, especially this dense block of MDF here, that could definitely increase cost. So I think it'd definitely be leaning more towards the £40 part of the scale. However, for a chair that reflects the style movement, which are very hard to obtain, it's a very select market, I think this is a very worth the price. It's very nice for the price of £40, so it's a definitely good cost. So for cost, I would give it an 8 out of 10. You stated the chair would be designed for people in the public and designers who know the style movement and find the design movement attractive. You stated that this means they can be both young and old, but leaning more towards 20 to 80-year-olds. That's definitely been fulfilled in this part of the specification. There's nothing on this particular chair that aims it towards a particular demographic. The style movement can be admired by anyone of any age, and because this reflects it so strongly, it's almost like a style piece, so anyone can appreciate it. My one concern would be for people in the older ages, the sharp, acute angle of the chair, because the chair dips down onto the backrest, which is vertical. This could cause people who are elderly to suffer from back problems. Being in such a position could cause a lot of strain to their back muscles. So I'd say, although it's very attractive to them, it could cause discomfort to them. So I think this definitely more appeals towards the younger generation purely on comfort style alone. So for client, I would give it a strong 8 out of 10. You stated that the chair will use materials that can be easily recycled after the product's life cycle has ended. It should use a minimal amount of different types of materials. No chemicals must be used in the production of the chair. Well, most of these materials can be recycled. The vinyl used here can be recycled tertiary or secondarily. And also the MDF could also be used again. The fabric can be secondarily recycled. So it's definitely got a lot of recycle value. However, one thing I would argue is I see no potential for primary recycling. These panels, I can't really see them being used on another chair, as it were. You stated that it must use a minimal amount of different types of material. The product mainly consists of vinyl stickers and MDF, with you also utilising some fabric. This is a good spread of materials, very varying amounts. However, they're not particularly in minimal amounts. A lot of MDF is used, especially in building up the main body of the chair, and also vinyl is used quite a lot on the entire product. So, you stated no chemicals will be used in the production of the chair. Well, the chair is fixed together with dowels, which means no chemical glues have to be used. So this just further increases the lack of chemicals in the product and helps the environment. So I would give you a 7 out of 10 on the environment. You stated on the safety specification that the chair will be designed with comfort in mind, since that is the purpose of the product. You will design a chair which will support the client's back and put them into a comfortable position. This is so the product won't cause back problems to the client. Sharp edges will be rounded off, and if the chair was to be designed on a 1-to-1 scale, the furniture would comply with the Furniture and Furnishings Fire Safety Regulation Act. Well, I think this definitely is partly fulfilled in your design. As we discussed earlier, for elderly people, the acute angle at which the user sits at when they're in the chair fully leaned back could cause muscle discomfort to elderly people over long periods of time, which, of course, could pose a safety risk. The position they're in is not chiropractically safe. However, to younger people, this chair is perfectly safe chiropractically. The position which they're in is very restful, very relaxing. It's almost very immersive in the way that you have these chair sides. You also stated that sharp edges will be rounded off. Well, unfortunately, there are a lot of round edges, very pointy edges on all the parts of the product. Because of the product size on a 1-to-1 scale, this poses a significant safety risk. If someone were to trip, even slightly, they could impale themselves on one of the sharp corners, which is a definite safety hazard. So, for safety, I would give you a 7 out of 10. You stated in the size specification that the prototype will be made in the scale 1 to 5. You stated the model will be high quality and detail, and it must also fit around the ergonomics of the human body. Well, the model has been designed on the 1-to-1 scale, which allows me to easily visualize the proportions and the scale of the full-sized chair. It is a very high quality model. All parts are fixed together very strongly with a variety of fixings. The vinyl is stuck on very sturdily. It's a very sturdy model, so it's very high quality. Ergonomically, the chair is very good. Although we discussed the problem with the angle of the chair, the user's body fits almost exactly into this spot, and by not granting them much room, you create an immersive experience. It's very comfortable. It's very proper fit. So that's ergonomically, it's very nice. Also, when the user is sitting on it, their arms rest perfectly on these armrests without having to stretch or move their arms far at all. They rest in their comfortable, natural position. There's plenty of area for the arm to cover and plenty of length. So armrests are very comfortable. The user's foot rests perfectly on the floor, doesn't dangle, or is not too long. So that helps support their legs, which is it just increases the anthropometric value of the chair. So for size, I would give you a 10 out of 10. You stated the function of the product will be make the client sit in a comfortable position. To do this, the site will be designed so that the client sinks into the chair. The chair will also be a designer piece, which will add more value. To do this, you design around the desired movement. Well, as we discussed, the chair would not be comfortable for OAPs. However, the position which they're at will be fine for younger people whose muscles have a lot stronger. As we discussed in the size section, the chair anthropometrics mean it's very comfortable to sit in. It fits very well with the human body. So it offers a very comfortable seating experience. The product utilises foam and fabric on the seat. Now this creates a lot of give in the seat, which means that when the user sits down, they will seemingly sink into the chair, which just adds to the comfort of it. There's no hard surfaces which they must sit on. My one worry is that when they sink down, because of this slope on the chair, my worry is they may not be able to get back up. So that's something to consider. You should also say the chair will be a designer piece. Well, as we stated in the aesthetic specification, this chair strongly reflects all the values of the style movement, utilising the limited colour palette and the block cubist expression. So that's definitely been fulfilled. So I would give your function a 9 out of 10. And finally, on materials and manufacturing techniques, you stated the arms of the chair will be made out of MDF, a cheap material which is strong. The seat of the chair will be made out of layers of laminated wood, and the sheet will be formed with a mould in a process called vacuum bagging. This will allow the sheet to be strong, stable, and stay in shape. The seat will be made out of a block of MDF, but that will make the model heavier, waste resources. So that, of course, won't be done. The wooden structure of the chair will then be cladded with coloured fabric, adding comfort. Lastly, a thin layer of polyester will go between the wood and the fabric to add an extra layer of comfort. This has definitely been fulfilled very strongly in your 1 to 5 model. The arms of the chair are made out of MDF. The product itself is strongly made out of MDF, which increases the build quality, but also keeps costs down. You said the seat of the chair will be made out of layers of laminated wood. That's definitely been done. It's hidden by fabric, which just adds to the aesthetic. It stops the unappealing texture of the wood showing through, but still retains the strength. And you said it would be formed in a process called vacuum bagging, which has been done. And as a result, the seat is strong, stable, and able to stay in shape. This just increases the safety of the product. It makes it very comfortable as well, and sturdy. The wooden structure of the chair is not cladded in coloured fabric, but rather in vinyl. Now, although this could be considered a disadvantage, I think the shine and the reflectivity of the vinyl just adds to the styleness of your chair. It grants it indistinct shape, as it were. So I think that's definitely actually turned out to be quite an advantage for you. And lastly, a thin layer of polyester will go between the wood and fabric to add an extra layer of comfort. This has been done, which just increases how comfortable the chair is on the user. So for materials and manufacturing techniques, I would give you a 9 out of 10.
Okay, thank you very much. That was my client interview with Will Faust.